Welcome back, everybody. Now, a report issued by the World Health Organization in 2010 shows that South Africa has one of the world's poorest road safety records, with approximately 31.9 fatalities per 100,000 people. Well, for African countries, the average fatality rate is 24.1 fatalities per 100,000 people, and globally, the average is 18 fatalities per 100,000 people. Now, in South Africa, approximately 1 million road accidents are reported per year. Already, this festive season, close to 800,000 people lost their lives. It is with this background that the Transport Education Training Authority, or TETA, is joining other stakeholders in the transport sector to reinforce awareness about the importance of road safety, especially now that people are on their way back home from the festive season holidays. And to tell us more, I'm joined by Simon Ndukwana, the Chief Finance Officer at TETA. Mr. Ndukwana, very good morning to you and welcome. Happy New Year.
Thank you, Simpio. Thanks for the opportunity to come through and to raise this alertness on road safety.
It's an absolute pleasure. First of all, I want to engage more on what TETA is, the Transport Education Training Authority. What is its mandate and what role does it play in educating the masses about road safety?
TETA is one of the 21 CETAs that we have. We fall under the Department of Higher Education and Training, headed by Naledi Pando. We partner with the Department of Transport on different initiatives that we have as far as skills development in the transport sector. So we are part of the funding partners in the training of pilots, training of the maritime captains, artisan training in the transport sector. But over and above training for skills development, there is a need for us to conscientize our road users, both pedestrians as well as drivers, as far as safety on the road is concerned. Because, I mean, as one of our key accreditations that we have an accreditation on professional driving, which includes road safety as well.
I mean, there's been so many campaigns about road safety. There's even the Arrive Alive campaign. So how different is yours from those campaigns?
I think the issue that we have is, to what extent do you remind people? It takes a lot of effort for you to remind and to form a particular habit. Obviously, we're going to talk on the obvious things that we are going to be conscientizing people on. 86% of the incidents that happen on the road, the accidents, they are caused by human error. And we are reminding them on simple things like fatigue. I mean, when you're driving a long distance, you need to take a lot of juices. It's one of those things that we are really going into. Please don't text and drive. I mean, it's quite shocking whenever you are seeing someone driving at 120, you're driving at 120, holding with two hands on your steering when somebody's doing 120 while he's texting and driving. That's the extent to which we are reminding people of the obvious things. Please be safe out there. Sort out your behaviors.
No doubt. I mean, you're saying all the right things, and this is not something new. I mean, it's been preached over the years. But the road fatalities figures are still skyrocketing. What seems to be the problem?
I think we appear to be taking things for granted. I mean, the good thing is we have information out there. If you can see how people are continuing to drink and drive. I mean, people drive they can drink even into the early hours of the morning. This is festive season, yes, big lead and everything, but there are options there. I mean, you can call in Uber and all these other service providers. Sorry to market this other company, but there are a lot of options in terms of after drinking that you can do instead of you going behind the steering wheel. So we are reminding people of the very same obvious things.
And why are we always higher than average when it comes to road fatalities compared to the other countries in the world?
I think it's an issue of us taking social responsibility. It's a behavioral change issue, far beyond us reminding ourselves or having a traffic cop standing by the way. It's an issue of saying, when someone is dying, this is someone's father, a breadwinner is lost, a son, a daughter is being lost. Let's think about those basic things to say, what is the impact of this death? This is someone's father, someone is his mother. A breadwinner that is being lost. If we can think about it deeply and really in a social responsible way, we'll change our behaviors.
Yeah, and children particularly are at risk of this as a result of their comparatively reduced cognitive abilities. Any attention being paid to this particular class of people?
Far beyond the drivers as well as the pedestrians, we are focusing on schools. We have different partnerships that we have with different providers in the private sector and the public sector, where we are engaging with schools. We are talking through on this K53, almost at a school level, to say, out there, learners, as we are going out there, please be aware, these are the rules. Because most of the people, especially in rural areas, I mean, there's a lot of overinvestment in urban towns, but the people that are quite a challenge is when you move from rural to urban, you don't know the rules. We assume people know. So we are conscientizing even our learners in schools. Please be aware, these are the rules. This is how you cross the road.
And human error is cited as the main cause of this scourge, yet people still do not want to adhere to the rules of the road.
Definitely, as I said, Simpure, I mean, far beyond just doing it as a once-off incident. We just have to really continuously remind our users out there to say, please, these are the rules. I mean, the same way that you've got obvious products, even on energy drinks that are being advertised every day. Road safety should be conscientized on a frequent basis. Let it be ingrained in people that we need to be safe on our roads. Let's improve our behavior. There is life out there. One person lost is quite a lot lost to the economy and to the country and to a generation.
Indeed. And speaking of economy, I mean, the Department of Transport estimates that every road death is costing South African economy 164 billion rand, which translates to 3.4% of the GDP, yet it escalates every year. Why?
I think going back to the issue of how much is lost, a life is far beyond even the billions that are being stated there. I mean, there's a lot of innovation. There's a president that is lost there. There's a leader that is lost there. So it's an issue of, I mean, when we look at the impact of what we are doing, we'll stop to text and drive.
Have your techniques worked so far in trying to get the message out there?
We have engaged on road safety for the past 2 years. Definitely, from an outcome perspective, we're going to speak of the numbers of people that have pledged, but far beyond the outcome, we're going to look at the impact. It might take 2 to 3 to 5 years. I was impressed with the fact that I think there is almost like a reduction from 2016-17 year to 17-18 season. There was a reduction in the number of fatalities. We're here to see what's the impact of the initiatives that we've partnered with different stakeholders. By the time the first week of January ends, we'll see how far are these initiatives having an impact. But over a period of time, definitely, if our behavior changes, we'll see a reduction.
Indeed, and we can say that we should always lower road deaths by all means possible, but nothing seems to be working. I mean, in some stretches of road, there is increased police visibility, but in some other stretches of road, there isn't.
And I think, as we said, far beyond being police, we need to be policies, policemen and women to ourselves. We need to police ourselves. I think I love the initiatives that we have been seeing on N3, where there's a lot of almost like instant, trial on people that are, drinking and driving. Of course, far beyond that, we need to be policemen to ourselves.
Okay, do you know when the official road stats will be released for the festive season?
Normally, they are released on the second week of January, because the festive season runs up to the first week of January. So I think by second week of January, we should be hearing something from the Department of Transport as far as to what extent there have been fatalities over the festive season. But we hope it's going to be less than the 1,500 people that passed away last year.
And to what extent does the collaboration between TETA and, for instance, the South African Police Services stretch?
We have not worked directly with the South African Police Services, but with Metro Police departments and provincial departments, we have got a lot of skills initiatives that we have on professional driving, even on road safety. But I think we've worked quite closely on a 10 million worth of a program with the Department of Transport in Limpopo. And we have seen a lot. And most of the guys that have been involved is youth, by the way, unemployed. They've also been absorbed into the Department of Transport in Limpopo.
So who are you targeting particularly? Those in the urban areas, those in the rural areas, or those disadvantaged communities?
It's just a combination, Simpiwe. Far beyond the drivers, we are looking at pedestrians. Most of our accidents are caused by pedestrians, actually. Hence, we need more of alertness and awareness as far as capacitation in terms of the rules of the road. Because most of the cases, you realize drivers, they know the rules of the road based on the K53 and all the training that goes into getting a license. But for our pedestrians, to what extent are we capacitating them? So we are engaging into those community initiatives, capacitating at taxi ranks and all that, to make sure that our users, our pedestrians, they also are alert as far as, what are the rules of the road.
And again, there will be a high density of traffic on our roads as people are going back home after the festive season holidays. So what's your message to all road users?
The message to all the road users, please don't text and drive. Please also, again, don't text and walk. I've seen people even texting and walking and almost bumping into your car. Please, let's stick to the basics. To the drivers out there driving a long distance, please, after every 200 or 250 Ks, please take a rest, take a stretch. That 5-minute stretch makes a difference. You can save a life.
All right, Mr. Ndukwana, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, many thanks to Simon Ndukwana, the Chief Financial Officer from the Transport Education Training Authority, TETA, talking to us about road safety and fatalities this festive season. All right, let's now take a short break. We'll be right back.